Okay, we're ready to assemble our covers. We need our 2 pieces of chipboard paper, album cover pieces, 7 3/4 by 5 1/2. The 1 spine piece that's 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. Tyvek 6 1/2 by 5. We need score tape in the 1/4 inch size and the 1/2 inch size, and we need two pieces of pattern paper for the covers. On the outside, I'm going to use the Fancy Pants Everyday Circus paper. I think I'm going to use the big top on the front and then the guy wires on the back. And I'm trying to decide if I want the wood paper or the chevron. I think I'm going to go with the wood. So I'm going to set those aside for right now and first assemble this part of the cover. So we're going to assemble our chipboard by first taking our Tyvek, and so this would be our 6 1/2 inch length this way. No, I'm sorry, turn it so it's the 5 inch, excuse me. We want the 5 inch going side to side, and we're going to glue our spine piece, not glue and score tape it. Center it the best you can, and so that it matches top to bottom. So I'm going to take some score tape, and I'm just going to apply it here, all across this piece. I'm going to go ahead and put a piece across on this end and this end. And you want really good coverage on this so that it sticks down really well to the Tyvek. And burnish this tape backing on here so that it sticks down good. And go ahead and peel the backing off. Move my trash can where we can get to it. Peel all the backing off. Also, for the assembly of this album, you're going to need a really good white glue. I prefer Scotch Quick Dry Adhesive. I take it and I put it in this fine line 18 gauge bottle, dispenser bottle that has the needle cap so that it keeps it from clogging. And it comes out a nice even stream, not a whole lot, not so much that it oozes everywhere. And I'm going to put a little bit between this score tape just as an extra precaution here. Make sure that it sticks good. Position this over the Tyvek, centered the best you can. Rub it on with your hands, flip it over, and let's burnish it so that that score tape and glue sticks down really well. Flip it back over so that the chipboard faces you. Take your 1/4 inch score tape and put a piece right up against the chipboard, real straight on each side. This is a guide strip that guides us in positioning our covers. Okay, so burnish those down. Just real good. Now we're going to take our cover pieces, and you're going to attach one on each side like this. And see how the 1/4 inch is your spacing guide? So that's really, really important. I'm going to take 1/2 inch score tape because it's a little wider, and I'm going to attach 2 strips to each side. Tore that a little long. If you have problems tearing, let's see, let me get my ruler here, my mitering tool. And go ahead and cut that even. Okay. Helps me to tear it a little easier. Gives me a straight edge if I use this to tear against. Still got that one a little bit too long, so I'm going to trim that off. Okay, let's burnish those down, and I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue. Let's peel the backing off first. Always forget that. Leave the spacing backing in place. You want it like that. So leave the 1/4 inch one stuck to the tie back for now. Let's add just a little bit of glue in here. May not need that, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's extra protection to make sure that everything stays stuck. So take your first cover and butt that up against the spacing backing of the score tape. Press that one down, and then turn and do the other side. So you will have a 1/4 inch spacing, and this makes the cover, and it has, as you can see, a really wide spine there. Okay, let's set that aside. Now we're going to take our 2 papers, put the one that you want for the front on your right and the other on your left, but then you're going to need to flip these, so that means they're upside down. Put the front on the left, the back side of the right, the back piece on the right. So this is the side that will be not shown. You want the sides you want to see. So your front piece needs to be down, face down on your left. The back piece needs to be face down on your right. Let's take the 1/2 inch score tape and line these up. Well, it doesn't matter. We're gonna, let me think, trim this down. Let me go trim these 2 pieces down and take the borders off. So these will be trimmed down to 12 inches. My cutter is over here on the side to give me more room on my table. So let's position these again. My front piece is on my left, face down. My back piece is on my right, face down. Butt these up together, so like that. Take your 1/2 inch score tape and seam them together all the way across. This is to make a piece long enough to cover this album. Now, if you wanted the 2 of the same, you could do that. For this circus one, I just wanted 2 different ones. So burnish that really good to make sure it sticks down. And I may have to see if we've got any more zoom out. That's about all I've got right now without moving the camera, so I'm going to do that. So we take our assembled chipboard cover, and we're going to position it over this. Now then, let's look at our cover and turn this over this way. Especially if you have a pattern that you're wanting to be in most of the center of the front. So I'm wanting this. Let me line this up on my grid here. So 6.5. So this would be about the center. I'm wanting this piece in the center, the bullseye. So I'm going to take it up this way. And I'm going to then position it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a little over 5.5. So that would be, the center would be about here. I'm going to slide it up about right there. So it doesn't move, I think I'm going to take, whoops, just a piece of tape here and peel that off to keep my position. So I'm going to do this again. It's just going to be about there. And about right there. And straighten it up. Maybe up just a little bit. It may not matter that much, it depends on what I put on the front, but I want that pretty close there. Now we flip this over, and we're going to attach this. I'm going to flip this over this way. It's a little easier if you're not trying to match the papers. So we're going to put score tape to cover the chipboard pieces, but we're not going to put it in the fold, this little fold spacing. So you put your tape along the fold. Let's put probably about 4 strips of the 1/2 inch down. Skip the fold, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the other side of the fold. What I should have done is put this on before I positioned it, and then it would have already been ready to stick down. Here, need another piece right in here. I don't want any gap buckling of the paper, so I am going to add some glue. Oops, I want it in the gap yet. Peel this off right quick. Should have peeled it off before putting the glue down, so be sure and do that. If you're going to add the glue, peel the backings off and then add your glue. Sometimes I get a little bit ahead of myself. Make sure this is straight. I'm going to have to add some more glue in here because it's going to start drying on me. Especially those lines there. You hear that noise outside? I don't know if you can hear it on the video or not. That's our guinea bird. We have one left. We used to have a whole flock of them, but right now we just have the one. So he sometimes starts making noise. Now I'm going to go ahead and peel this backing off of the paper. It's still going to be seamed together because of the score tape there. And now I'm going to add the glue. Didn't get that backing off. Okay, now we'll flip this one over. Make sure your paper's down flat. And let's position this right to there. And we'll burnish that. And this one is the one that was attached down, so I'm going to have to lift it up some. Tore off a little bit of the paper there, but that's okay. Now we're going to add more score tape to this part of the cover. And when you're doing yours, I suggest that you put all the tape on it, flip the whole piece over and apply your tape, and then figure out your position and mark it somehow with a pencil. Then peel all the backing off and then turn it over, add your glue, and then stick it down. I think this will go ahead and work out okay for me. I'm hoping I've got it positioned where I want it. Let's go ahead and flip this over. Okay, now turn it back over. To fold the paper and to miter the corners, we only need about 3/4 of an inch on each side. So I'm going to take my craft knife. Sorry that I'm having to reach over. Let's see where? Oh, there it is. I had it handy. And I'm going to line this up on my grid. This is a cutting mat. And I'm going to cut off 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to cut off about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to position this so that I'm getting 1.5 inches off. Now if you position your 3/4 here, right there. So this is 1, 2, 3/4. I'm leaving 3/4. Line that up and just cut that piece edge off because we don't need a lot of excess here. Cut. Okay, slide this over, and we're going to do the same thing again. I want this to be about 3/4 of an inch from the edge, right there. Oops. 2, 3. And if you'd rather do this with scissors, you can mark it with a pencil and then just cut with your scissors. This is kind of backwards for me this way. Let's see if I can. So I want to cut for me going the other direction. Now I'm going to turn this. I have to do a little bit at a segment at a time. So and measure. See, 1, 2, 3, 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to cut right across all this, right straight down. And then slide this and get the rest of it. And now I'm going to turn this one over so that I can get a good cut from the right. 2, 3. Slide it down and cut the rest of it. Oops. Okay, there we go. Now we have that there. We need to train this. I'll do the long sides first, so like lift up and get that fold. You can take your bone folder and go along the edge on the outside. And the other side. Fold into it along the chipboard. I have found that the Graphic 45 doesn't like to fold as well. It's a thicker paper, so sometimes you have to ink the edges of it. I'm going to try to gently get it used to folding. And then the same on the ends. Just fold, fold, okay, now open it back up because we're going to need to miter our corners. Now, if you have the perfect ruler, and misplaced mine. Jeez, I just had it. Well, let's do our score tape first. So we're going to put score tape along the edge of the paper here, all the way across. On both ends and across, all the way across the both long sides and across both ends. Okay, so my perfect trim ruler fell on the floor. These are really great for mitering the corners. I have marked mine with some washi tape so that I can tell which one I use most of all. If you don't have one of these, you can use your ruler. It is almost the correct width. So if you don't have one of these perfect trims, you can position your ruler at the tip of your corner and then cut away at this angle. I'm going to go ahead and use this. I position it this way, line my lines up, and that should put me in the right position. So I'm not sure with your ruler if it's going to cut it too close for you. I'm going to cut this and see how much space you've got. So you've got just a little bit of space there. Line these up and then cut. So you're going to do this on all 4 corners. So this is marked, all 4 corners of the ruler are marked for different thicknesses of chipboard for mitering, and this came from, it says perfecttrimruler.com, so you can check for that. There's other places that also carry it, and it's called the Perfect Trim Ruler. Okay, I'm going to recap my knife. And let's throw these scraps away. And like I said, I start with the longest sides first. So I'm going to peel this off one side at a time. I've already folded it to train it. And also make sure that you peel the backing off of these spacers in the center here. So we're going to peel this off. Okay. Start in the middle and work your way down. So you already have your fold line. Burnish that so it sticks really good. And gently burnish, fold, lift up, and burnish in those folds so that it sticks down into that. Okay, let's turn it over and get the other side. Starting in the middle, let's fold it up. You don't want to tear your paper, so just gently rub there. Burnish on the fold up here. Now do the other 2 ends. And then to miter this, you need to pull this in on these corners with your fingernail or your bone folder. Bring those in. I think I may have used the wrong size on my mitered corners. I think they need to be a little bit shorter. I'll have to make do with that. I think on the other one I'm going to change it. So this is the back side. So let's, well, I've already cut that. I'm going to cut just a little bit off. Miter just a little bit more. Peel that off. Maybe that'll work a little better. Fold that in. And like I said, the Graphic 45 paper, this isn't Graphic 45, what am I thinking about? Another album I'm doing with Graphic 45. This is Fancy Pants, but it's still pretty thick, so just work that. Okay, at the corner, so it does kind of crack it just a little bit, and I'm going to use ink to stain the edges, so that'll be okay. That's not quite the way I liked it on this corner, so I may add a little bit of glue. But that's the cover. Now we've got this funny look here. We can either add a strip of paper, which I think is what I may do, to that. And let's make sure we've got these mitered really good. I mean burnished really good. Okay, I'm going to stop the video for just a second. I'll be right back with the next video, and we'll start working on the inside and covering papers on the spine.